If you're in the mood for some cozy fall vibes, you're in the right place. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today because we are going to pack it full of cozy fall activities. This is just such a fun time of year to romanticize, and I'm excited to just have a day full of all of the amazing things that fall has to offer. And if you've seen any of my previous videos in the past, you'll know that the pumpkin patch is quite the special tradition here, and Cooper and I had our very first date there 8 years ago. I can't believe it was 8 years ago. So it's something that we do every single year, and the day has finally come and I could not be more excited. And even more exciting is I get to take you along with us and you can just experience this special memory with us. We're also going to do some other cozy fun fall activities, and I'm just very excited to spend the day with you. So go ahead, grab your cozy blanket, get a cozy pumpkin drink or a little sweet treat, whatever it is you want. Get comfy and let's enjoy a cozy fall day together. We just parked and I'm so excited. It makes me so happy to see all the families and everyone just in the fall mood. It makes me really excited to even have our kids here with us one day just to make memories with us too. But it honestly feels amazing outside. Like, it's to the point now where the humidity has gone down, so it feels like warm but still has like a cooler breeze, so you can wear sleeves and not completely sweat your butt off. I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise, there's the pumpkin patches right there, but yeah, it's like perfect outside. So I'm very excited. Perfect day for the pumpkin patch, and I can't wait to see what we pick out because they always have the best pumpkin selections. But also there's a guy that usually sells coffee here. It's a pumpkin coffee, so hopefully he's here too. But let's go ahead, let's get into the festival because I'm so excited.
In the cold kitchen light, we both look for a sign, and you say, these are troubles of mine. Weary thoughts of breaking up, coming under your skin. Don't know if we should stop or begin. 'Cause I was there by your side, with my eyes open wide, and I know that will always be true. There were no reasons why, guess all beauty must die. We try hard but we also were so reckless, so reckless. It took time to recognize we are all filled with pride. I'm a wreck when I'm not by your side. Yes, I know that I have to agree. There is no one as reckless as me.
There are seriously so many crows above me right now, and I don't know why, but I was going to get a pumpkin spice latte and I saw he had an apple cider chai on the menu, and he said it was really refreshing, and he did not disappoint. It is literally, it tastes like fall. Oh my gosh.
I wonder where you go when we're in the same space. You're more like a ghost in between a place and a feeling. sun kissed your face, you turn the other cheek.
And of course you can't come to a pumpkin patch without going through a corn maze, but every time I go through a corn maze, it reminds me of that one scene in Harry Potter Goblet of Fire. It wasn't a corn maze, but it was like a lot of big bushes, so same kind of vibe, and that's just kind of what I'm getting right now. But anyway, this year they change the design every year for the corn maze, and apparently this year Luke Bryan's part of the sponsor, so I thought that was pretty interesting.
The clouds filled our sky. Am I the reason why you're always so quiet? You're always so quiet. The air's filling up the room.
We just got these loaded baked potato fries. Oh my gosh, I'm a fry snob, I'm a fry lover. Never met a potato I didn't like, and I am so excited to dive into these.
And they're hand cut.
And they're hand cut. Ah, yum. And what are fries without a Sprite? Okay, you cannot have fries without a fresh carbonated Sprite. Don't care who you are.
I don't think about it. About you leaving me. I don't know who I'd be.
We just left the pumpkin patch and my heart is so sad to leave. I always get so I don't know, I get so much nostalgia at the pumpkin patch. It's just such a special memory. I feel like they've really amped it up this year. Like that circus show with the aerial gymnast, that was not there last year or the years prior. So that was a really, really cool addition, and I could not believe the tricks that she could do. I was completely mind blown. I would have fallen just standing up there, let alone doing a whole bunch of flips. Anyway, they had amazing pumpkins. My apple cider chai was perfect. So we're actually going to head to downtown, and our downtown here in Charleston is very old. It's from the 1600s, so all the buildings and architecture is very colonial, very like a mixture of different architectural types, but they're all very old homes, very old cemeteries, and they do have some Halloween decorations and fall decorations out. So it's a little tradition to take a stroll through the streets of downtown and just take a look at everyone's decor every year. So that is what we're going to do. So hopefully people are feeling festive this year, because I get really excited to do this too. Okay, so this next one is one that is my favorite, and I swear it's an actual witch's cabin. Tell me what you think, but I swear, a witch lives here. You can't convince me otherwise. Behold the witch's cabin in Charleston. Tell me you don't think that there's a little apothecary inside, and they have their little herbs burning, and they just have a cozy cauldron and just all the things that a witch would have here. I just love walking by this house this time of year, and she just kills the decorations. I love it, but I swear it looks just like a witch's house. People get so creative down here. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Look at this old car though. Like, I love the skeleton in front of it. That is so cute. And what is that in the back? Oh my gosh. Woo. Love it. Good job, guys. See, this is why I love Charleston. Like, this is quintessential Charleston. You'll have these like really nice sun porches, and they are on the side of the house so that they could actually fit more houses here, so the houses are longer. But it's just so cute and so cozy, but still fall. Like, for instance, this is called the Charleston single. So this is the sunroom and this is the rest of the house, and it goes back. But basically this is like a privacy door. So if this was open, then your neighbors were like welcoming and are ready for visitors. But if that was shut, then that means that, you know, it's closed for visitors and they just want to stay private. And also you'll see a lot of these that are light blue, and that's to mimic water to keep away wasps and evil spirits. So, little fun fact about Charleston. So eerie. See, this is one of the examples I was saying about the haint blue ceilings. You can see it looks like water, so it keeps your house free of evil spirits. And by the way, this one was built in the 1800s. Listen to those church bells. Charleston's also full of really old cemeteries just like this one. Like, for instance, this one born right here, or this one right in front of me here, was born in 1812. I've even seen some in the past, like this one over here, it says 1781. It's pretty worn, so I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but it's just so crazy. Just, it really adds to the fall ambiance down here. Charleston has a ton of haunted places, but this is definitely one of the most haunted. This is Dock Street Theater, and it was originally built in the 1600s. It's a really cool building, so if you ever come to Charleston, you should definitely check it out. Oh, I don't know if you can tell, but they're getting married. Oh, how beautiful. Her dress is so sparkly, I love it. I had the best time today. I swear I needed a day that was just full of cozy fall activities like today. As you could see how Charleston has that older architecture, how it really just contributes to the fall vibe and honestly just elevates the charm that the city already has. So I hope you enjoyed kind of seeing a little bit around my hometown. I just love walking around there and seeing all the home decor. I think one of my favorites, aside from the witch house, was the skeleton pirates scaling the palm tree and the house. I thought that was pretty clever because we do have a lot of pirate history here. But now we are back at home, and I have rinsed off and changed into my cozy Halloween sweater that I told you I literally live in this time of year. I have that, and I have my cozy socks, and we are going to make a very warm and cozy autumnal meal. Comment a pumpkin every time I say the word cozy in this video, but that's the vibe we're going for. We're gonna make beef stew. Now, my mom had a recipe before, but I wanted to try this one I found on TikTok. So we're gonna try it out tonight. And beef stew is one of my go-tos whenever the weather gets a little bit chillier. It's healthy, it's full of vegetables, it has protein, and is just a really good, cozy meal to cuddle up with. And that's what we're gonna make tonight with some rolls. And I'm going to show you the ingredients really quickly. Cooper was kind enough to go ahead and start our meat, so he has that cooked already, but I'm going to show you everything we're going to use for the rest of the beef stew. So here are all of our ingredients. We have some celery, some carrots, an onion, some beef broth. We also have some potatoes and tomato paste, which I don't think I've ever made that with beef stew, so curious to see how it's going to taste. Cooper was sweet enough to go ahead and cook our beef, so this is going to be waiting for us after we get these vegetables chopped up. But he seasoned it with garlic powder, onion powder, Celtic sea salt, which this is one of the healthiest salts that you can get. It has like 82 minerals that we live off of, or that we need, out of like 90 something. So this is something worth looking into, Celtic sea salt. But yeah, so we use that, black pepper, and then coconut aminos. The recipe called for Worcestershire sauce. I don't have that. And then the other ones called for red wine, but I actually have an allergy to alcohol, so I don't want to buy a whole bottle of wine. So we opted for coconut aminos. So we're gonna go ahead, get our vegetables cut up and get them sauteing so that we can go ahead and get our beef stew going, because I am getting very, very hungry. And also, while that's cooking, but a little bit closer to the beef stew being done, we're gonna cook some rice, because you gotta have some rice with your beef stew. And this is just the jasmine rice from Trader Joe's, but we're gonna cook some of this to have with it. But like I said, it doesn't take as long as the beef stew does, so I'm just gonna wait till it's a little bit more closer to being done. So now that we have our veggies sauteed, I sauteed them with tomato paste, and then we have our beef, we have our potatoes cut. Now we're going to do our beef broth and get them all combined. So I'm gonna get my cauldron, which is just a really big pot that we have, but I always feel like a witch whenever I cook with this pot because it feels like a big cauldron. So I'm gonna get that, pour that in here. I think I'm actually going to also fill this container up with water after I pour it into the pot, and then pour it in there just to make sure we have enough soupiness to cover all of our veggies and get it seasoned nice and well. So let's go ahead and get it all combined, because like I said, I'm ready to get it simmering because your girl's hungry and I'm so excited for beef stew. I have not had it since last year and it's one of my favorites. Now that the cauldron is bubbling, it's time to add our ingredients. So I'm gonna add in the potatoes, add in all of our veggies. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm brewing a potion here. I mean, we are at the leaky cauldron. Oh gosh. And then we're gonna add in our beef. And one thing I wanna say is whenever you are cutting up any of this stuff, whether it's the vegetables or even the protein, like make sure you cut it up pretty small so that you get a good amount like distributed throughout the liquid, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna go ahead and put in some spices. So I'm gonna do some garlic powder, some onion powder, some black pepper, and I love the grinders more than I like the, what's it called? I don't know what they're called, shakers. And then I'm gonna do just a little bit of Celtic sea salt. You don't need a ton, just a little bit. And then I'm also gonna add in this Italian seasoning. It just has a whole bunch of different herbs in it. And I think that would be really, really delicious if I can get it open. Then we're gonna give it a good stir, and I'm gonna let this simmer for, oh gosh, probably at least 45 minutes to an hour. I know it sounds like a long time, but I really want the meat to get tender. I want the potatoes to get tender, and just all of the flavors to come together into our beef stew. So while that is stewing, we are going to actually carve a pumpkin from the pumpkin patch. So we will let this do its thing, and we're gonna do some more fall activities. Carving a pumpkin is one of my favorite things to do for fall. I actually, fun fact, never carved a pumpkin until Cooper and I were starting to date back in 2016. So I was 18 then, and I had never carved my pumpkin ever. I just got like these little tiny ones from the grocery store, and I would just draw a little face on them, and that was pretty much the extent of my pumpkins. So this is just a fun new tradition that I love to do every year, especially with Cooper. It's just very, very special. So I figured for our pumpkin this year, I normally would do some kind of design like a witch or a haunted house. I've done like a witch and her cat, which I felt was very fitting in the past. But I think this year I really want to go for that like nostalgic, classic Halloween jack-o'-lantern. And I will put up a picture of my inspiration. So that's just kind of what I'm feeling this year. I don't know. I just really want to do that. I feel like it's very straightforward. It's just not going to be too tedious. And I love, love that classic nostalgic Halloween decor. So I have my little setup here. Let me show you. So obviously we have our pumpkin, and we usually put it on a trash bag. It just makes it a lot cleaner and easier to keep everything under control, because if you've ever carved a pumpkin, you know it can get very messy very quick. And we have a bag here for our pumpkin. I like to call it pulp. I don't like to call it guts. I know it's probably not pulp, but whatever. Pumpkin seeds and everything else go in here. And then my pumpkin carving kit, which, let me just say, this scooper is legit. So we got that. And I'm going to freehand the face. Never freehanded it before. I usually will take the design and tape it onto the pumpkin and do the little dots that you normally do, but since it's just a jack-o'-lantern face, I'm just gonna freehand it. And apparently on TikTok there's this trick where you can use a dry erase marker and it comes right off. I tested it, and a wet paper towel works the best to get this off of a pumpkin. So if you end up drawing your design on your pumpkin this year, that's a little trick you can do to just kind of save you some time and make it a little bit easier, unless you're doing something that's a little bit more in depth. gosh, look how cute he came out. I'm really impressed with myself because I freehanded this. I didn't use a stencil or anything, and I'm not very confident in my drawing abilities, so I'm just very happy it didn't come out too crazy. And what I love so much about it is, like, yeah, he's a little lopsided. He's not sitting completely straight up, but I think that just adds to the quirkiness and just gives that vibe of that nostalgia from Halloween back in like the 90s, where things are just quirky, they're cozy, and they're just really fun. And having a fun Halloween movie like Hubie Halloween and just something that's goofy but with a little bit of spookiness, carving pumpkins and just smelling the beef stew that's cooking is just, oh my gosh, it's just such a vibe, and I'm so grateful for it. So this was so much fun, and I just am so happy the way he came out. But now I need to find a spot for him and also name him. I think I'm gonna name him Binks. That's what I'm feeling. So we are going to find Binks his very special spot and finish up making our beef stew. I think it's been stewing long enough for us to make the rice. So we'll go ahead and get that going, but this was just so much fun. I just look forward to this every year, and it's just very, very special. The beef stew is all done. It is looking and smelling amazing. So now we're gonna go ahead and get the rice ready to go with the beef stew and some rolls, because that sounds like the best combo. Now that we have our rice cooking, which I went ahead and turned this down even lower because I had a bad experience one of the first times I cooked rice. I burnt the crap out of the pan that I used. So, not gonna lie, rice is not one of my favorite things to cook, but it's okay. We're just gonna keep stirring it, keep it on a low heat, and we'll be just fine. So while that's cooking, I actually have some really good rolls to go with the beef stew. These are one of my favorite rolls. They're so good. My family has them almost every holiday, but they're called Sister Schubert's dinner rolls, and there's just a few of them in here. They're a good little size and are just really good to have with something like beef stew. So we're gonna bake a few of these to have with dinner while this rice cooks. And I ended up doing, just so we would have enough for the entire batch of beef stew, I ended up doing 4 cups of rice. Yeah, 4 cups of rice, 8 cups of water. So that way we definitely would have enough. I must say, I'm very proud of myself. I did not burn the rice. It looks good, it looks fluffy, and most important of all, not burnt. My mom actually told me that she adds a little bit of butter to hers, so that's what I'm gonna do to get it nice and even creamier. And then also probably some salt. So why not, right? think I might have made a little too much rice, but I took a little taste, and I'm just saying, if I was on Survivor and I made rice, I would be the talk of the camp. This is some darn good rice. Let me know if you watch Survivor. I love that show. Our rolls are done, nice and crispy on the outside. It said 6 to 10 minutes. I did 8 minutes, so it was perfect. So if you get those rolls, 8 minutes is the way to go. Moment of truth. I have my bowl here and it feels so good. It's so nice and warm. We're gonna see how this actually came out, because like I said, I have not tried this recipe before. It was more of like a more simple recipe, so we will see how it tastes. So let's get a little bit of everything. Please be good. Please be good. Okay, here we go. That is really good. I was really worried that it was gonna be watered down and just not flavorful, but just like letting it cook for a little bit longer, letting the meat get really tender, letting the vegetables really soak up the broth. Oh my gosh.
Bonus that it's healthy.
And it's healthy. Oh my gosh, it's so good. You have to try this recipe. Okay. This is gonna be a fall go-to this year, for sure. I mean, it's literally protein, vegetables. Oh, so good. I'm happy with this. You definitely have to try it. And one of the great things about beef stew is, for instance, if you're a mom and you are very busy with your kids, or you're in school, or you're just overall just working and have a lot going on, you can still make this and not spend so much time chopping, because they do have like the pre-chopped vegetables in the stores. I know Trader Joe's has something called like a mirepoix, so that's like celery, onions, and carrots already chopped up. It's like $3 and something, so it's affordable, and you could get 1 or 2 of those, dump it in a pot, pour in some beef broth, and cook you some rice. And obviously you'll just have to cook the beef, but actually they might have some that's pre-made too, but just be wary of the ingredients if you do that. But it's very simple. The potatoes you may have to dice up, but that doesn't take that long, honestly, and you don't even have to cook them before you put them in. You would just chop them and throw them in the pot. So it's a really easy one-pot dish in my opinion. So if you are short on time and you want something that's autumnal or just warm and cozy in these colder months, especially the winter, I default to beef stew so much in the winter time. You can easily do this too and not spend hours in the kitchen, because I will be completely honest with you, some meals I deter from because I don't feel like chopping. Even though I enjoy it whenever I start doing it, it can be a deterrent. So sometimes getting stuff that's already chopped up for you is just going to be the better option, because if you can make something a little bit easier for yourself, it's better than going and getting takeout, you know? So it just makes it easier to cook at home instead of going to get a meal that's from, like, as much as I love Chick-fil-A, but from Chick-fil-A or something like that. So this is a winner though. I will leave the recipe in the description box. Season it to your liking. That's what I did. I just kind of kept seasoning it until I liked it, and I'm very, very happy with it. Saw my night routine video, you'll know that I love to have a sweet treat after dinner. So tonight, in honor of our fall cozy night, I figured we could make these pumpkin cookies. So they are pumpkin cookie dough with cream cheese chips, and they look so, so good. I've had these before, and I know I said the pumpkin cinnamon rolls were one of my favorites, but this is like right up there with them. If you haven't had them, you definitely should try them. Some people take like the Pillsbury sugar cookies and they'll put them on top of this cookie and bake it kind of like they do with the chocolate chip. I haven't tried that, but I feel like that would be really delicious. But we're gonna get our oven preheated again and get these going because I am so excited. I haven't had these since last year, so they're going to be so good and the perfect thing to top off our fall night. The timer just went off, but I just checked them and I think I'm gonna give them maybe like 2 more minutes. It said like 10 minutes to 14 minutes, but I'd never like to overcook them. Yeah, okay. We're gonna do 2 more minutes and that should be good. I decided to use this pumpkin plate from Target just to make it even more festive. Freya is back. If you saw my night routine video, she's always here when I'm eating sweet treats. She's keeping me in check, I guess. We like to think so anyway. One thing I will say is I know a lot on my channel I talk about eating healthy and just overall wellness. But one really big key thing with health and wellness is balance. It's important to live in the season and actually be able to enjoy the treats that you want to enjoy. And the way I've kind of found balance with that is really just having a little dessert at night that is festive. Now that might look totally different for you, but it's important to enjoy those things that you really love and those once a year things that you have. It doesn't mean that you can't still reach your goals, if that makes any sense. You can have those little fall treats, even Christmas treats, I know that's coming up too, and still hit your goals. It's just literally all about balance. Too much of one thing is not good. Too much healthy stuff obviously is good for you, but it's gonna burn you out in the long run. And having obviously too much sugar and too much sweets isn't good for you either. So being able to really just have the things that you enjoy and just enjoying that balance of the season and the things that you love is so crucial this time of year. I'm trying to be very conscious of that this year more than in the past. It can be really easy to just get very wrapped up in it and, overload on the treats because I know I'm a pumpkin fanatic. So that's happened to me before quite a bit, especially with pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks. I've seen recently the ingredients that are in that and it's just a little scary. That's just what I wanted to say, is just enjoy the things that you love about the season and just remember to keep that balance. Don't feel guilty about having a sweet treat because fall comes once a year. You really should be able to romanticize it and have the things that you love too. She totally wants some. You can't have this. You can't. It's not good for you. This isn't balance for kitties. She actually has pumpkin in her food every night at dinner. So she's a pumpkin girl, technically. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay. The best way to top off a fall day is by reading an autumnal book, and this is one of my favorite things to do. If you've seen any of my videos in the past, you know that I love to read. I love books. And now I'm reading A Dark and Secret Magic. This one just came out at the very beginning of the month. Actually, it might have been the middle, but whatever. It just came out this month. But it's so good so far. It's about a witch who lives in the woods in a little cottage. She is a hedge witch, so her magic is very connected to the earth and herbs, and she can create like healing things too. So there's also different types of witches, and the witches in her coven specialize in a certain type of magic, and everyone is different. But she's turning 31, and that's a very big birthday in her coven because that's whenever they basically seal the deal on this is the only magic you're able to practice. But she comes to realize that there have been secrets that have been kept from her. Her mom has been dabbling in some dark magic and just some very crazy things that she is going to have to solve. And along the way, she has a guy named Matthew with her, and he's also a witch, but he's from a different coven that practices forbidden magic. So it's just a really fun book. And whenever I first heard about this book, I heard it from Darling Desi, and she said that this author just knows how to put the atmosphere of fall into a book, and I totally agree. It takes place in October, as you can tell by the cover. It has pumpkins and cats and the moon and everything like that. So if you're looking for a really good fall read, I suggest this one. It is so good. But one of my favorite cozy fall activities is just cozying up with my book in my bed, and I do this every single night before I go to sleep. And it's just my favorite way to top off the entire day. Also, I just remembered, I wanted to show you that they do have like recipes in the back of this book too, which I thought was really cool. I love whenever books do that. I feel like it just gives a little extra touch. But I am actually going to go ahead, get my cozy pumpkin blanket, and curl up here and just read until I get too drowsy to keep my eyes awake, which, to be honest, probably will not take very long. It never really does. But yeah, I wanted to say thank you so much for spending the day with me. It was just the most perfect fall day. Truly so many special memories made, especially at the pumpkin patch, because it just holds such a special place in my heart. So I hope you got some inspiration for some fall activities from today so that you are able to have your own cozy fall day. And again, thank you so much for being here. It truly means the world. And I hope you're having the coziest autumn so far. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.